I need to get this off my chest because I'm struggling to handle everything that's happening right now. I broke up with my fiancé officially a few days ago, but we had actually been done for about a month before that. We tried getting back together briefly, but it just made things worse. I, 27F, met Drake, 27M, in college 5 years ago during our senior year. We were in the same study group for our final project, and things just clicked between us. After graduation, we moved in together and got engaged last year. The proposal was perfect. He took me to the beach where we had our first date, got down on one knee, and promised me forever. I thought I had found my soulmate. But our relationship had been rocky for a long time before the engagement. The main issue was his emotional manipulation. Every time I tried to bring up problems in our relationship, he would turn it around on me. He'd say I was being too sensitive or that I was imagining things. If I ever tried to leave, he would threaten to harm himself. The first time this happened was 2 years ago. I had found suspicious messages on his phone from a female coworker. When I confronted him, he deleted them and said I was being paranoid. I tried to leave that night, and he took a bunch of pills. I had to call an ambulance. After that, I was terrified to ever bring up any issues. This pattern continued for years. He would stop eating, skip work, and basically destroy his life until I came back. Each time, I would give in because I couldn't bear the thought of him hurting himself. We had built a whole life together, shared an apartment, had the same friend group, and were planning our wedding for next spring. Our families were close, and his mom treated me like a daughter. The breaking point came when I found out he had been lying about going to therapy. 6 months ago, after another one of his episodes, I gave him an ultimatum: either he get professional help or I'm done. He agreed readily, and I thought finally things would change. I helped him find a therapist, set up the appointments, and even drove him there every week because his car was in the shop. Last month, I stopped by the therapist's office to reschedule his appointment because we had a wedding to attend. The receptionist had no idea who I was talking about. They had no record of Drake ever being a patient there. When I called other therapy offices in our area, it was the same story. He had been sitting in parking lots during those times, pretending to attend therapy. When I confronted him, he broke down crying. He admitted he hadn't gone to a single session. He said he was afraid the therapist would tell him there was something wrong with him, that he was too scared to talk to a stranger about his problems. He promised he would really go this time, but I was done. All the trust was gone. I packed my things when he was at work and moved in with my best friend Sarah temporarily. That night, he showed up at her place, crying and causing a scene. He kept saying he would die without me. Sarah had to threaten to call the police before he would leave. He got his mother involved, who kept calling and texting me about how devastated he was. She said he wasn't eating or sleeping, that he might lose his job because he couldn't focus at work. About 3 weeks into our separation, he seemed to be doing better. He texted me saying he had actually gone to a therapy session, with proof this time, and was working on himself. Like an idiot, I agreed to try again. We lasted 2 days before I caught him checking my phone while I was in the shower. He said he needed to make sure I hadn't been talking to other guys while we were apart. That's when I ended things for good. Here's where everything gets complicated. During our month apart, I started talking to Matt at my gym. He teaches the morning kickboxing class I attend. It started with just casual conversation after class, but we really connected. He had gone through a bad breakup himself 6 months ago, so we bonded over that. We began texting regularly, and I found myself looking forward to our conversations more and more. Matt knew about my situation with Drake and was very understanding. He didn't pressure me for anything more than friendship, but there was definitely attraction on both sides. We started getting coffee after gym sessions and could talk for hours. He made me feel heard and respected in a way I hadn't experienced in years. But Drake found out about Matt through our mutual friends. He completely lost it. He showed up at my workplace during lunch hour, screaming about how I was cheating on him. My coworkers had to escort him out. Then he started sending me hundreds of messages, alternating between threatening to hurt himself and accusing me of having an affair with Matt while we were still together. I showed Matt the messages, and he offered to back off if it would make things easier for me. But honestly, being around him is the only thing keeping me sane right now. Drake has been telling everyone that I moved on too quickly, that I must have been emotionally cheating during our relationship. Some of our mutual friends are starting to believe him. Drake keeps saying we're just on a break and that he'll wait for me forever. He's messaging my family members, telling them I'm having a mental breakdown and need intervention. My mom actually started believing him until I showed her some of his manipulative messages. He even contacted my younger sister on Instagram, telling her to convince me to come back home. I know it might seem fast to be talking to someone new, but I checked out of my relationship with Drake months ago. I only stayed because I was afraid of what he might do to himself. Matt understands this and says he'll wait until I'm ready, but I feel guilty for even considering starting something new while Drake is spiraling. I need advice. Should I completely cut contact with Drake? What about our mutual friends who think I'm the villain in this situation? And am I wrong for wanting to explore things with Matt? The guilt is eating me alive, but I also know I deserve to be happy. Update 1: I never thought things could get worse, but they did. A lot has happened in the past 2 weeks, and I need to get it all out. Drake actually attempted suicide 3 days after my last post. He took a bunch of pills with alcohol and ended up in the hospital. His sister called me at 2 a.m. to tell me he was in the ICU. The doctors had to pump his stomach, and they weren't sure if he would make it through the night. His family completely blamed me. His mom was hysterical at the hospital, screaming at me about how I had destroyed her son. His sister Amy showed up at my workplace the next day, causing such a scene that my manager had to call security. She was yelling about how I had abandoned Drake when he needed me most, how I was heartless for moving on with some gym instructor while her brother was fighting for his life. The whole incident forced me to take a step back from everything. I felt so guilty that I told Matt we needed to pause whatever was developing between us. He was understanding, but I could tell he was disappointed. He said he would give me space but reminded me that Drake's actions weren't my fault. Still, I couldn't handle the thought of pursuing anything romantic while Drake was in the hospital because of me. I visited Drake in the hospital once he was stable. His family didn't want me there, but the doctor said he was asking for me. He looked terrible, pale, with dark circles under his eyes. He cried when he saw me and promised he would change, that he would do anything to get me back. I felt horrible seeing him like that. But then something completely unexpected happened. 2 days after Drake was admitted to the hospital, I got a message from Lisa, one of his coworkers. She said she had something important to tell me and asked if we could meet. I agreed to meet her at a coffee shop near the hospital. What Lisa told me turned my world upside down. Drake had been seeing Amanda, another woman from their office, for the past 3 months while we were still together. Apparently, everyone at his workplace knew about it. Lisa showed me screenshots of conversations between Drake and Amanda that another coworker had sent her. In these messages, Drake told Amanda that our relationship was already over and he was just trying to find the right time to tell me. There were pictures of them together at office parties, messages about their romantic dates, and even discussions about their future together. All of this was happening while he was simultaneously begging me not to leave him and threatening to hurt himself if I did. The timestamps on some messages showed he was texting her loving messages on the same days he was having breakdowns over our relationship. When I confronted Drake about this at the hospital, he tried to deny it at first. Then he claimed Amanda was just offering emotional support because I had been distant. Finally, when I showed him the screenshots Lisa had given me, he broke down and admitted everything. He said he was scared of losing me and that Amanda meant nothing to him. He tried to blame it on his depression and fear of abandonment. His family's attitude completely changed after this revelation. His sister Amy came to my workplace again, this time to apologize. She admitted that Drake had a history of manipulative behavior that the family had enabled. Even our mutual friends who had sided with him started reaching out to apologize. Many of them admitted they had suspected something was going on with Amanda but didn't want to get involved. I was devastated but also relieved in a way. All those times he accused me of cheating with Matt, he was projecting his own guilt. His suicide attempt felt less like genuine despair and more like another manipulation tactic. I realized that not only had he been emotionally blackmailing me with threats of self-harm, but he had also been gaslighting me about his own infidelity. I reached out to Matt and explained everything that had happened. He was incredibly supportive and said he had suspected Drake might be hiding something based on his extreme reactions to our friendship. He offered to help me find a support group for people who've dealt with manipulative relationships. We've started spending time together again, but we're taking things very slowly. Drake was released from the hospital after a week and is now staying with his parents. He keeps trying to contact me through new phone numbers and email addresses, claiming he can explain everything. I've blocked them all. His latest attempt was having Amanda reach out to apologize and tell me how sorry he is. Apparently, they're still seeing each other, which just proves how manipulative his suicide attempt was. He wasn't trying to end his life because he lost me, he was trying to keep control over me while maintaining his relationship with her. I'm still trying to process everything that's happened. Part of me feels like an idiot for not seeing the signs earlier. Another part feels angry at everyone who knew about his relationship with Amanda but never told me. But mostly, I feel free. The guilt that was eating me alive about Matt is gone. I know now that I deserve better than what Drake put me through. Update 2: I thought I had seen all the twists this situation could throw at me, but I was wrong. The past few weeks have been a roller coaster of revelations and confrontations that I'm still trying to process. Matt and I have been getting closer. After everything that happened with Drake's hospitalization and the revelation about Amanda, Matt gave me the space I needed to heal. We kept things casual, just grabbing coffee after gym sessions and texting occasionally. Last week, we finally had a serious talk about our feelings and decided to make our relationship official. It felt right, no manipulation, no pressure, just two people who genuinely care about each other. The same evening we made this decision, Drake showed up at my apartment complex. He had the engagement ring I had returned to him, the same one I had worn for a year while he was cheating on me. He started yelling in the parking lot about how I had ruined his life, how I had driven him to attempt suicide, and how I owed him another chance. He said he had broken things off with Amanda and was ready to commit fully to me. My neighbors called the police because of the disturbance. While they were escorting Drake away, I noticed a familiar car in the parking lot. Amanda was there, sitting in her car, watching everything unfold. After Drake was gone, she came up to my apartment. I was hesitant to let her in, but she said she had information I needed to hear. What Amanda told me made me physically sick. Drake hadn't been seeing her for just 3 months, or even just during our engagement. They had been together for over a year, almost the entire time he was accusing me of cheating. She showed me years' worth of messages, photos from trips they had taken together during times he had told me he was on business trips, and even receipts from jewelry he had bought her. The worst part? She had no idea I existed until recently. Drake had told her he was single, then later claimed I was his unstable ex who couldn't let go. She only discovered the truth when she found our engagement photos while going through his phone. When she confronted him, he fed her the same lies he had told everyone else, that I was mentally unstable and manipulative. But here's where it gets even more twisted. While Amanda and I were comparing stories, she revealed that she had discovered other women in Drake's life. She showed me conversations with at least 2 other women where he was making the same promises about marriage and a future together. He had been leading multiple lives, carefully keeping everyone separate and using the same manipulation tactics on all of us. One of these women actually reached out to me on Facebook. She had been dating Drake for 8 months, thinking he was divorced. He had told her that his ex-wife, me, was harassing him and that's why he had to keep their relationship secret. She even showed me messages where he was planning a vacation with her for the same week he was supposed to be on a business trip, which was also the same week he had apparently planned a romantic getaway with Amanda. Drake's family is mortified. His sister called me crying, saying she had no idea her brother was capable of such elaborate deception. Even his mother, who had blamed me for everything, finally sees him for who he really is. They're pushing him to get real professional help this time. The most surreal part of all this is how Drake is reacting. Instead of showing remorse, he's trying to justify everything. He sent me a long email explaining how he needed different types of emotional support and how each relationship fulfilled a different need. He actually tried to argue that he wasn't technically cheating because he loved everyone differently. Matt has been incredibly supportive through all of this. When I showed him Drake's email, he helped me set up additional security measures on my social media and devices. We've also started attending a support group together for people who have dealt with pathological liars in relationships. I'm still processing everything, but for the first time, I feel like I can see the situation clearly. Drake didn't just cheat. He created an entire web of lies and manipulation that affected multiple people. His suicide attempt wasn't about losing me, it was about losing control of the narrative he had carefully constructed. I'm currently working with Amanda and the other women to document everything in case we need legal action in the future. Drake's behavior has become increasingly erratic since all of this came to light, and we want to be prepared. Update 3: It's been 3 months since everything came to light, and my life has completely transformed. I wanted to give one final update because so many people have reached out asking how things turned out. After discovering the full extent of Drake's deception, I filed for a restraining order. The evidence Amanda and the other women helped me gather made the process surprisingly straightforward. The judge was particularly concerned about his pattern of showing up at my workplace and home after I had explicitly told him to stop contacting me. Matt and I are still together, and things are going really well. He's been incredibly patient with all my trust issues and never makes me feel guilty about my past. We've been taking things slowly, but last week we decided to move in together. Some people might think it's too fast, but after experiencing such a toxic relationship, I finally understand what a healthy one feels like. Amanda and I have actually become close friends. We meet weekly for coffee and help each other process everything that happened. She started dating someone new who knows our whole history and is very understanding. The other women Drake was involved with have also moved on with their lives, though we keep in touch to support each other. Most of our mutual friends have apologized for believing Drake's lies. Some friendships couldn't be salvaged, particularly those who knew about his affairs but never told me. I've learned who my true friends are through all this. Sarah, my best friend who let me stay with her after the breakup, has been amazing. She and Matt get along great, which makes everything easier. Drake's family has completely cut ties with him. His sister told me he's moved to another city after losing his job. Apparently, his workplace found out about how he had been manipulating multiple co-workers and decided he was too much of a liability. His mother occasionally texts me to apologize again for how she treated me during his hospital stay. The last I heard, Drake is supposedly getting real therapy this time and has joined some kind of program for compulsive liars. I don't know if that's true, and honestly, I don't care anymore. I've finally stopped feeling guilty about his suicide attempt and other threats of self-harm. The support group Matt and I attend has helped me understand that I was never responsible for Drake's actions. Matt and I have started planning our future together. We're looking at apartments and talking about getting a dog. It feels surreal to be in a relationship where I don't have to constantly check my partner's phone or worry about being manipulated. Matt encourages me to maintain my friendships and hobbies, something Drake always tried to prevent. The restraining order is still in place, and Drake hasn't tried to contact me in over a month. Sometimes I still get anxiety when I see a car that looks like his or when I get a call from an unknown number, but these moments are becoming less frequent. The support group has taught me techniques to handle these triggers. I'm just grateful I got out when I did. Looking back, I can see all the red flags I missed or ignored. But I'm not beating myself up about it anymore. Instead, I'm focusing on building a new life with someone who respects and values me. Sometimes the worst experiences lead you to exactly where you need to be. To everyone who supported me through this journey, thank you. Your comments and messages helped me stay strong when I was doubting myself. And to anyone going through something similar, it does get better. You just have to be brave enough to walk away.